Sofia Alvarez had learned to pack fast. Not because she moved often, but because life had taught her that love could turn conditional, without warning. The plastic grocery bags cut into her fingers as she stepped out onto the cracked sidewalk, her 5-year-old daughter Lucia balanced on her hip, asleep with her face pressed into Sofia's shoulder. It was nearly midnight, and the streetlights outside her parents' house flickered like they were tired of witnessing the same scene again and again. Behind her, the front door slammed. Her father didn't say goodbye. Her mother had already turned away. "You made your choice," her father had said moments earlier, his voice sharp with disgust. "You married for money, and when it didn't work out, you came crawling back." Sofia hadn't argued. Arguing never helped. She tried to explain, again, that there had never been money, that her ex-husband's flashy promises had dissolved into credit card debt and reckless investments, that she'd worked 2 jobs while raising Lucia, while he chased the next big thing. But her parents had already decided who she was. A gold digger. A disappointment. A burden. "Get your things," her mother had said quietly. "We won't have this kind of example in our house." So Sofia packed what she could carry. And left. She didn't know where she was going. The bus stop was 3 blocks away, but Lucia was heavy, and Sofia's arms shook with exhaustion. She adjusted her grip, whispering soft reassurances even though her daughter slept. That's when the black car pulled up. It was out of place on their street, too long, too polished, windows tinted dark enough to hide anything inside. The engine idled smoothly, like it had all the time in the world. The rear window lowered an inch. A man in a driver's uniform leaned slightly toward the opening. "Miss Sofia Alvarez?" he asked. Her heart jumped. "Yes," she said cautiously, shifting Lucia higher. "I'm here to take you home." Sofia laughed once, sharp, disbelieving. "You've got the wrong person," she said. "I don't have a home." The man's expression didn't change. "I'm afraid that's not correct," he said gently. "You do. And it's been waiting a long time for you." Before she could respond, the rear door opened. Warm light spilled onto the sidewalk. Inside, the leather seats looked untouched. Expensive. Unreal. Sofia took a step back. "I'm not getting in a stranger's car," she said. The driver nodded. "Understood," he said. "Then perhaps this will help." He reached into his jacket and produced a thick envelope. On the front, in neat handwriting, was her name. Inside was a birth certificate. Not the one she knew. This one listed a different father. A man whose name Sofia had seen her entire life, on buildings, hospitals, museum wings. A real estate tycoon whose company owned half the city's skyline. Her breath left her lungs. "My mother is dead," Sofia whispered. "She never." She hid the truth, the driver said softly, to escape a marriage that nearly destroyed her. Sofia's knees weakened. Lucia stirred, murmuring, "Mama?" Sofia hugged her tighter. "Who sent you?" she asked. The driver met her eyes. "Your father," he said. "He only found out about you last month." The penthouse overlooked the city, like it owned it. Because, in a way, it did. Sofia stood barefoot on marble floors, staring out through floor-to-ceiling windows at lights that stretched endlessly into the night. Lucia ran ahead, laughing softly, her tiny footsteps echoing. It didn't feel real. Nothing did. The man who waited for her inside wasn't what she expected. No arrogance. No booming voice. Just a tall, silver-haired man with tired eyes and hands that trembled when he reached for her. "I didn't know," he said immediately. "If I had." Sofia raised a hand. "Don't," she said. "I need time." He nodded, swallowing hard. "I'll give you all the time you want," he said. "But I won't disappear again." She learned the truth over hours. About the marriage her mother fled. About the legal gag orders. About the private investigator who finally found her. And about the will, already amended. "You're my daughter," he said simply. "And this is your home if you want it." Sofia looked down at Lucia, who had fallen asleep again on the couch, clutching a pillow too big for her. For the first time in years, Sofia didn't feel like she was surviving. She felt like she was standing at the edge of something terrifying and powerful. Sofia didn't sleep that first night. The penthouse was quiet in a way she wasn't used to. No pipes knocking, no neighbors arguing through thin walls, no sirens slicing the dark every 20 minutes. The silence felt expensive, and somehow undeserved. She lay on the edge of a king-sized bed she hadn't chosen, listening to Lucia breathe softly beside her, the rise and fall of her chest grounding Sofia to something real. Every few minutes, she got up to check the locks. Not because she thought someone would break in. Because for most of her life, stability had never lasted long enough to trust. Her father, Richard Hale, kept his distance at first. He didn't hover, didn't overwhelm, didn't try to buy affection with gifts. That surprised her. Instead, he left notes. Breakfast meeting canceled. Kitchen's yours. I'll be in the office if you want to talk. If not, that's okay too. Lucia's school options are on the counter. No pressure. Sofia read every note twice. Men in power, she had learned, rarely ask for consent. Richard did. When they finally sat across from each other at the long dining table, sunlight pouring and like it belonged there, Sofia noticed how tired he looked up close. Not old, just worn. I don't expect forgiveness, he said. I hope for honesty. Sofia folded her hands. My mother didn't tell me because she was scared, she said. Not because she hated you. Richard nodded slowly. I know, he said. I gave her reasons to be. That admission did more than any apology could have. Boston's Back Bay wasn't gentle. It was beautiful, precise, and unforgiving to anyone who didn't know the rules. Sofia learned quickly that wealth had its own language, how to dress without looking desperate, how to speak without apologizing, how to walk into rooms where people assumed she was either staff or temporary. At first, they didn't see her. That changed when she started asking questions. Not shallow ones. Real ones. Why is this building empty? What happens to families when rents double? Who benefits if we delay this project? The board members exchanged looks. Richard watched quietly. After one meeting, a woman in her early 60s with sharp glasses and sharper instincts approached her. You're not here to play rich, she said. Are you? Sofia shook her head. I've been poor, she replied. I don't forget what it costs. The woman smiled. Good, she said. Come sit with me next time. Her name was Evelyn Grant. She became Sofia's first mentor. Sofia's parents found out the truth the way most people did. Through headlines. Real estate mogul reunites with daughter. Single mother steps into Hale empire. Her mother called first. Crying. Apologizing. Explaining. Sofia listened without interrupting. When the tears ran out, she said gently, You believed the worst of me when I needed you most. There was silence on the line. I'm not punishing you, Sofia continued. But I'm not pretending it didn't happen. Her father never called. That told her everything. Mark showed up 6 months later. Thinner. Desperate. Familiar in the way bad habits often were. I didn't know, he said, standing awkwardly in the penthouse entryway. If I had. Sofia stopped him with a look. You knew I worked 2 jobs, she said. You knew I begged you to stop gambling with our savings. You just didn't care. He swallowed. I'm bankrupt, he admitted. I just thought maybe I'd save you? Sofia finished. He nodded. She shook her head. I already did, she said. When I left. She didn't slam the door. She just closed it. Sofia didn't take over the empire overnight. She learned. She listened. She failed quietly and corrected publicly. She pushed for affordable housing projects where profit margins were slimmer, but impact was real. She fought zoning boards, negotiated with mayors, and refused to greenlight developments that displaced families without alternatives. People noticed. Not because she was rich. Because she was consistent. Lucia started calling the penthouse home. Sofia started believing her. The first building Sofia signed off on wasn't tall. That surprised people. No glass tower. No skyline moment. No headline-grabbing height. It was 6 stories, brick-faced, tucked between 2 aging blocks in a neighborhood developers had ignored for decades because the profit margins weren't dramatic enough. Sofia stood on the cracked sidewalk the morning construction began, Lucia's small hand wrapped tightly around her fingers. "This is where people live," Sofia said softly, more to herself than anyone else. "Not where money shows off." Lucia nodded solemnly, like she understood more than she could say. The turning point came during a city council hearing. A councilman leaned back in his chair, folding his hands with thinly veiled condescension. "Miss Hale," he said, "with all due respect, do you really believe affordable housing belongs in prime districts?" Sofia didn't rush her answer. She looked around the room, at the reporters, the activists, the developers waiting to pounce. "Yes," she said, "because the people who clean these buildings, teach in these schools, and serve in your offices deserve to live near their lives." Silence followed. Then applause. Not loud, not explosive, but real. From that day on, no one called her a placeholder again. Richard's health declined quietly. He didn't dramatize it, didn't ask for sympathy. But Sofia noticed the way his steps slowed, the way meetings exhausted him more than they used to. One evening, as the city lights flickered on like constellations below them, he handed her a slim folder. "It's yours," he said. "All of it." Sofia didn't open it. "I don't need ownership to lead," she said. Richard smiled faintly. "That's how I know I chose right." He passed 6 months later, peacefully, with Lucia asleep in the chair beside him and Sofia holding his hand. The city mourned a titan. Sofia mourned a man who had finally learned how to listen. Her mother attended the memorial quietly, sitting in the back. They didn't embrace, but they spoke. "I was wrong about you," her mother said, voice trembling. Sofia nodded. "I know." That was enough. Some wounds didn't need reopening to heal. Mark's name surfaced occasionally, in financial blogs, in rumors of lawsuits, in bitter online posts blaming everyone but himself. Sofia never responded. Forgiveness, she learned, didn't require proximity. It required release. Years later, Sofia walked through a completed housing complex, children laughing in courtyards, elderly residents sitting in shaded benches, murals painted by local artists splashed across once blank walls. A woman stopped her. "You don't know me," she said, "but my kids sleep in their own beds because of you." Sofia smiled. "I do know you," she said. "You're why I'm here." Lucia grew up watching her mother work without cruelty, led without ego, give without debt. One night, as they looked out over the city Sofia now helped shape, not dominate, Lucia asked, "Mama, were you scared when you came here?" Sofia thought about the sidewalk, the bags, the night air. "Yes," she said. "But you still came," Lucia said. Sofia kissed her forehead. "That's how you change things," she said. "You walk forward even when you're shaking." They once called her a gold digger. Now the city called her a builder. And the woman who was thrown out with nothing had become someone who made room for others and, finally, for herself.